July 4th. Welcome to episode 3 of Boomstick Media.
Chill with all that yelling. Chill. You fucking hurt my vibe, man. You're harshing my mellow over here.
That's Quick, and this is the Drunken Bear. Today is Quick's birthday. Shout out to him.
Baby. Yes, Centenniale.
Pop fireworks for all you ungrateful colonials.
Very important day for us libertarians. One thing, I've been learning a lot about the libertarian, and you know I guess you see do whatever you want. You're allowed to do whatever you want. You have to control your own judgments. My favorite part is what they call the Hollywood libertarians, where you see sex as a transaction. You know, get back to the casting couch we were talking about. So you can use sex as a transaction, but you can't tax it. What?
Casting couch porn?
Yeah, well, that's what they got it from. Yeah, you know, the casting couch are, what do we call the, Trump hating is the new casting couch. There'll be Trump Me Too in like 10 years, you know. I was forced to hate Trump so that I could be in Meet the Parents 4. Oh, God. You know, and then, of course, people are going to feel sorry for him, you know. I didn't know, like, Terry Crews. Oh my God, Terry Crews. I saw an interview the other day.
Oh yeah, we messed up.
They grabbed his nuts for a couple minutes, and he's like, and they're like, no, tell your story.
Big ass Terry Crews.
The way they're having him talk, you would swear he's holding on to the little doll. You know, and he's like, where did he touch you? And he points to his groin or some shit. You know.
That's my no square. Which is actually funny that Terry Crews is the guy who's making this an issue, because if any of y'all remember Friday After Next, he was the ex-con, just came out of jail trying to grab up on, what's his name?
Ice Cube?
No, the little guy, Cat Williams' character, the pimp. He was trying to force himself onto him as the sexual assaultee, but it's just funny that in real world he is the actual victim. I don't know, I find that funny in a funny, or in a, what's ironic way.
Dude, he makes it into a race thing, and it pisses me off so bad. He's like, you know, as a black man, it's hard to get roles and keep your place in Hollywood. And we're supposed to feel sorry for him, because, yeah, he went on to make more movies or whatever, because he lets him do, fine, he lets him grab your nuts, then don't feel bad about it. Yeah, let that fool grab my nuts. Like, yeah, that guy's cool. There was a comedian that was talking about it on DJ Vlad. Like, yeah, I like that guy. Lets me grab his nuts. Like, hey, there, yeah, grab his nuts. He's a good guy, you know. Then be that guy. Don't come out in this Me Too stuff. I don't believe any of the Me Too stuff, because it's all the same shit. But now they can't do that anymore, so now the new people taking over, the lesbian editors and their anti-Trump agenda. It's just like, bash Trump, get a movie role, and I guarantee it, we're going to put you with the best writers, with the best of everything. And so, yeah, Terry Crews and his casting couch shit, big-ass Terry Crews that wanted to defend himself. Have you seen 50 Cent trolling him on Twitter?
No, but dude, 50 Cent trolling is hilarious. Oh,
dude, yeah, he still got it, man. He's still the king. Yeah, he was trolling. He was like, "Why don't you protect yourself?" You know, like sending him all these memes of it. Yeah, he should have. He should have been a man. And it's just part of destroying masculinity. They love it. Shit, someone probably told him to come out and do this.
We'll say, don't tell him to be a man. You need to check your masculinity.
Yeah, my toxic masculinity of defending myself. Like the big ass man is defenseless. Fuck out of here. I'm pointing. Fuck out of here. And watch, he'll still get his movie roles, because now everybody's gonna feel sorry for him.
He's gonna be a big gay man.
Angle.
Is he gonna be a big gay man in his next movie role? Watch, watch. We're calling it right now.
Picture, yeah.
He'd be a giant, or some type of, you know, transgender or whatever.
Transgender dude. Oh, if they make like a Milk type of movie. Did you ever see Milk?
No.
Well, it was about the guy who's running to. Was he gonna be a mayor of San Francisco or whatever during like the gayest time to be alive or whatever, when the AIDS was all getting really big.
The AIDS.
Oh,
God bless.
AIDS burger. So yeah, no, I think that it is a happy 4th of July. In conclusion on that.
And that's how we're starting off, people. Sticking to tradition.
The race baiting, man.
Yeah, race baiting.
Well, you know, that would roll baiting us right into you're baiting. Yeah. That's all I have.
That's baiting. So yeah, let's move on to our music feature of the week. First off, I'm gonna just say techno sucks. I hate it, but That's not what I want to bring up. What were we talking about a second ago?
Germans on drugs in the 70s were only things that like techno. It had to be doing the right drugs. Only we can work on those. It was Lebowski's.
Yeah.
She got off her toe. I got $13.
Nihilist.
The Nihilist.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was the only techno I ever liked was the Nihilist techno.
What, didn't you have something down for music for this week?
It was the comparison of the techno to the EDM. You were talking about someone the only reason any men like techno is because they're trying to get with a girl that likes techno.
Yes, this is the current life problem I'm going through. I don't have it in my heart to tell her that it sucks to her face just because, playing into the alpha dude I am.
You're doing her a disservice. You're doing her a disservice.
I know. I should tell her straight up, but she won't care. She's actually.
She'd be like blinders to it.
Yeah, well, she's been around. She's not like a young girl. She's like a year older than you are, actually.
She should know. Well, big 30 this year. Big 30. 4th of July, 30, baby.
I know. Crazy mathematical thing I brought up earlier. This is my boy Quick's son is actually 1/3 his age, which how many people can say that? Exactly 1/3 their age their child is.
Yeah, his birthday's on the 3rd.
Yeah.
So we come out exactly a third today. 2 to 0.
That's insane. Like, he's exactly 1/3 of my boy Quick's life. That's, I don't know, mind-blowing to me, but a little pointless. Moving on.
Yeah, so we were talking about the race baiting, and that was actually one of the things that I had written down for today. I follow The Root, and I follow The Root because it is the most race baiting page. Worse than BET, worse than The Breakfast Club. Or The Breakfast Club, because Trump is in office that allows people to be racist or whatever. And of course they equate that to blaming Trump. Everybody blames Trump for everything, which kind of went back to hating Trump as the new casting couch. And we were talking about race baiting, and Root does that with everything. And so I was following The Root, and they have this guy who was opening a business in Indiana, and so you can look it up in the by just Googling, describing what I'm saying. He's opening a business in Indiana, and he said that he had a note. Of course, there was no cameras or anything. He had a note on his front door that said, "Get out of here, whatever word. We don't want your kind in owning businesses in our town." Immediately, of course, he goes straight to social media with it. And what does he get? Now, this is a very smart businessman. He gets nationwide advertisement for free from the race baiting businesses like The Root. And all that does is it perpetuates a hate and an anger. Now, you're talking about a town that has no history of this in the past, of black business owners getting attacked or notes or whatever. It's the first time it was with this guy. And if you read the article, it's like an advertisement for the guy's business. Alright, so what we've got is what I can assume, because it hadn't happened again. Of course, you got cameras and they're not getting another note. And I'll guarantee you they don't get any threats and they don't get anything. It's as bad as Maxine Waters inciting fear in people.
Check out our page on YouTube for a Mad Maxine video.
Yeah,
good content.
Our hashtag walk away Mad Maxine video, which is actually moving pretty smooth. YouTube too, YouTube. It's on both. So she picks all these fights with all these people, and then when people start getting attacked on the conservative side, then all of a sudden she gets a death threat, right? Oh, I gotta cancel shows, and then 3 days later she's like, okay, my shows are back on, right? I got a death threat, so I'm the victim, so I get to incite an attack on people, and then get to be the victim in the end. I mean, how do people not see? Like, you can't just assume that because you like them, they're not lying. Right? Well, you take it with a grain of salt, the same amount of whatever you read on the CNN side as you do on the Fox side, right? I always just assume they're all lying. But the ones that tell me how to think and tell me how to feel and tell you to be angry, they should be angry. You know, like with the Roseanne racist thing, no one even knew the girl was black. So this is the exact same as the guy who were caught writing on the wall. They're writing the word on the wall. And then they all found out that it was the guys on the actual team that were doing it, the black guys on the team that were inciting this racism. And if you start looking around, you know, the girl that got run over in Charlottesville was by a Clinton voter. But they twisted everything into these guys were alt-right, these guys are fascists, everything is moved to this side. And if you find out that 90% of these are false flags, either to advertise your business for free because it's guaranteed, or it's false flags to look at the body cam image, the body cam videos that come out every week, where some girl says she was pulled over and the cop was being racist and told me all those things, and the body camera footage comes out, and then it turns out that she was lying. Look at the people that you go, he got shot in the park, you know, running from the cops. The guy that was wielding a BB gun around that took the orange tip off so it would look like a regular gun, right? Well, and on the fact, no, don't even mention the fact that it was like a Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Where was the guy at work, right? Oh, he didn't have no job. Oh, why? Because he goes to parks and swings around guns. These are the things that no one's telling you about. You know, these are the things you should be angry about. Nobody wants racism. Obviously, racism is stupid. You don't want to stop somebody from going ahead in their lives because of the color of their skin. You should not identify your politics by the color of your skin. And that's why we hate people like Jay-Z. They tell you to identify, and things are so important. We went over this in the last podcast, you know, how he's opening a bank, and he wants to treat you like everything is really important as when it comes to your skin. What should be important and what you should be working on from the moment you turn 18 is building up your credit. Your credit is what's most important. This guy, he's starting a bank. If you want to get in with the rich guys, which is what he's trying to do, and I know he tries to control his people through race baiting, but he's been working on his credit for 20 years so that he could get loans from like Rockefeller and Puffy Combs and all these other banker buddies. That's what should be important. That's what they're not telling you. They're not telling you things to better your life. They're not telling you they say don't have a kid, but have an abortion, right? Well, what kind of friend tells you to have an abortion? The people who want to control your population. So they're not telling you to stay in school. They're not telling you that's what's cool. Stay in school isn't cool as far as going to college, even though you can get college for free. They don't tell you that. They're not telling you about getting married. They're not telling you about, you know, you already were raised going to church. Majority of people who are out at our age, millennials, we were raised going to church. Then we stopped doing that, and then we see the crime rates and everything go up. But it's not really so much about believing anything, but the practices of things. So, just, you know, so if someone says to think for yourself, then you get someone like John Lemon's telling Kanye that he shouldn't think for himself. He should get on board with what they're doing. You get someone like Jay-Z telling Meek Mill that he shouldn't go meet with the president because that's not going to get you anywhere when it comes to reform. You know, the guy says, I want to meet as many black community representatives as I can so we can talk about reforming the prisons. And he said, don't go there. He said, don't show up. That's not going to help at all. I mean, this is corruption at the highest level, and you're doing a disservice to your people if you really care about them. Anyway, that's my rant for the week. And just, you know, think for yourself. Don't trust the guy that tells you to think for yourself. That's the fascist. The fascist is the one trying to control the language, trying to say everything is hate speech. You know, on college campuses, Make America Great Again is hate speech. Racist hate speech. Those words in that sentence together. That's fascism, man. That's controlling the language. And that's where they say 1 in 5 women are getting raped, is on the college campuses. How does it work that way? How does the ones who are the most politically correct supposedly the ones doing the most raping? Is it because they're having regretful sex? Is that what it is? So, you know, just assume it's all bullshit.
Before this spins
Figure it out
down
yourself.
The drain, it is 4th of July, and on brighter notes, last night I watched the new trailer for the second upcoming Creed movie. This is just that has nothing to do with what Quick was saying. It's just a lighter note for 4th of July. The one thing that I thought would be funny, like when I first saw the first Creed movie, I was like, wouldn't it be funny if like he fought the son of the guy who killed his father? That's what the second movie's about. It's gonna be about Baby Creed fighting Baby Drago. And I find that very exciting. I know. After Quick's rant about...
I'm not really a big Rambo guy.
After Quick's rant, it seems kind of irrelevant to bring up, but I just wanted to say something. I don't know. I haven't been saying anything the past couple of weeks. I haven't had much for topics. Video games, I've been keeping up with, like E3 just passed and stuff. I got content coming on that, a separate video. I don't want to bring it up in the podcast too much. This podcast is where we embrace our free speech, as Quick likes to remind everybody. Think for yourself. And something you should do, and do actively. No one should tell you what the fuck to say or what to do.
First sign, man. First thing, you know what? That guy told me I should be offended. I don't know about that guy. You know, there was a Boy Scout, and this is all alleged. It's always alleged because I follow the route, and they have no sites or anything. They just say it happens, and you don't hear about it anywhere else. But
I mean, you don't.
This
allegedly, you don't need to sign anything. See what I did there?
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah, so, but I just cite the route, so I'm good, you know. So it's guaranteed whatever I'm saying is true because I give you facts. But this kid was in the Boy Scouts, and you go to the article, and someone had called him N-word or whatever. They were bullying him with racism, and the kid was apparently sad about it, and the troop leader was telling him, you know, it's just words, man, it can't hurt you. But the way that Root equates that is, fuck your feelings, you don't matter.
Take it
down a notch. Yeah, well, but that's exactly how I'd put it when I comment on it, is that you can look at something through rose-colored glasses, you could look at them through shit-colored glasses. If you try to cheer a kid up, what are you going to tell the kid? Stay offended for the rest of your life because someone was rude to you, you know? And that's how they attack free speech, is through ways like that. It's so funny how you can manipulate a word and change everything about the whole context. This reminded me of that.
Let's see.
Fuck your feelings! What else we got, man?
I don't know, it's pretty impromptu this week. I apologize for the wrong
Mark Dice. I follow Mark Dice, and he was talking about
who is Mark Dice?
He's just a guy. We're all just guys, man, you know? They give us a mic, they give us a camera, words come out, you record them, put them on the internet.
Did you ask Mike Dice if he considers himself a guy? Or are you just assuming his gender there?
He definitely considers himself a guy. So he goes out and he interviews like the dumbest people he can find on the beach, and of course like Los Angeles, where no one knows anything about their history and their heritage. But he's like, yeah, this is when remember when John Wilkes Booth signed that document on the 4th of July? Like, what year was that? And they're like, oh yeah, that was like 1860, 1960, you know? And it's like fucking John Wilkes Booth.
Did he use a matchlock pen?
No. Fountain. No one knows about anything in the history, and it's almost like it's by design so that you can change history. That his videos are ridiculous. He done one where they were like, man, you know, Martin Luther King just died this year, you know, and they don't want to put a statue up. Like, oh man, that guy, his speech, I remember, I can't believe he just died, you know? Like, oh my god, dude, it's fucking embarrassing. But and then those are the videos that people in other countries see, and they're like, stupid Americans, you know?
Oh man, that reminds you. Did you ever see the North Korean propaganda videos?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, we should do a whole take on that, because that was one of the best bit of comedy I've ever seen. Literally in the video, it's like it's a very like monotone voice, like showing pictures of Americans like waiting to get crack or whatever in like a homeless shelter, and they're saying, look at all the pigeons, this is what Americans eat while they wait to get their crack or whatever. Oh my god, it is comedy gold.
Oh, these are real, or they're just like
they're
fake?
Real propaganda videos, and
that's amazing.
This is now someone we're trying to, you know, be buddy with, so they don't pull the trigger on their bums.
Man, I tell you what, I think it goes back.
Propaganda videos, and they are fucking comedy gold, dude.
I think it goes back to keep your friends close and your enemies closer. These are simple products of war or ideology of fighting people. But it's like they said, either the guy is a genius or he's insanely stupid. You can't have both, or he's like the luckiest guy on earth. And I think it's a little bit of all three, as far as focusing on like how can make everything into a business transaction, because that's the only thing I've done for the last 50 years. I mean, the dude knows his business. They always talk about, like, yeah, he went bankrupt 4 times. It's like, yeah, you filed bankruptcy so you don't have to pay when you get sued. That's part of the hustle. And there's all these loopholes and lawsuits that a guy who's been getting sued since the 70s is gonna know.
Dude's still rich.
He's still rich, man. He'll never lose it. Like, that guy's like, hey, he's not stupid. He's not stupid. He hustled everyone. No one thought that fool was gonna win.
Yeah, that's another thing that really bugs his shit. Like, everybody's...
They underestimate your enemy.
He is our president, so, he has to take that with a little bit of pride, regardless. Like, shouldn't be siding with other countries against our own president, because that just makes us seem fucking combustible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you gotta think, like, people don't realize this dude has literally been running a $1 billion company for years.
Yeah.
Fucking decades, dude. Like, he's had this money. Like, this isn't new money Trump. He isn't getting richer being the president.
Yeah.
He's actually, I think I read a thing, like, he's losing money being the president.
Sure.
Like, the dude's, in a rut. Well, not really a rut. Like, he's still making millions, but...
Well, he handed the business off to his family, but...
Yeah, exactly. But, this is the thing that people don't realize. They're, bashing on him, yeah, he does stupid things in public. It's like a person who's, book smart, I know plenty of people who are, you meet them in person. I met a lot of them when I went to college. You talk to them in person, you're like, this dude is a fucking idiot, or female, whoever it is. Dude, male... trans, whatever. I'm not trying to single out anyone else, but I've met really dumbass people that I talk to, have no street smarts, no fucking, don't know anything about the world, but then they you give them a calculus problem, they get solved in 2 minutes. They're fucking ridiculously smart on paper. That's just the type of people they are. This guy didn't make his money doing public speeches all the time. He did it doing the fucking deals,
career politicians are the biggest issue. They've been the biggest issue.
Yeah, and just because a guy can talk well doesn't mean he's actually that smart.
No, he's a hustler.
Exactly.
Dude,
so I don't know, that's one of my biggest peeves is people, this is they're bashing on all this shit that's coming out in his political life and not looking at the fact that he has been running a successful business for decades. Fucking decades. I'm not talking recently. Trump's been around for fucking ever, dude.
Dude, they underestimate and underestimate and underestimate over and over and over again, and it's part of the deal, dude. I saw this thing, he was signing something, and they brought him up to this little table. This was look at his desk, smallest desk you ever seen in my life, the kid's desk. Dude, I laughed so fucking hard at that. The dude, he's charismatic, he's a comedian, and he makes you think he's dumb while he runs away with the money, dude. It's even because the prime minister, what does Mexico have? They have a prime minister, a president. What do they call it? A presidente?
They have a president.
So he gets elected. He's socialist. He's promoting his people to come up to America, right? And is we're gonna help everybody we can in Central America and everybody we can in Mexico move up to America, Trump goes on to me, he's hey, I look forward to working with this guy, what's he got up his sleeve? That's seemingly stupid, right? But he's got something up his sleeve. He always does. There's always there's an angle to everything, and they're reading into it. I look forward to that. How could you look forward to this guy? He's gonna try to run people. I don't know. Trust the method, right? Trust the method. Or at this point, we're doing football quotes. The whole thing.
This reminds me of I don't know if we didn't talk about it. No, we didn't talk about it, but it reminds me of that picture you sent me earlier about the kids getting taken away from their family or whatever, and how MS-13
be so to kind of draw a picture with words, it was when the guy on the Titanic, the owner of Starliner, he grabs a kid and he's like, I have a kid, and he gets on the boat and it was like MS-13 be like, I have a kid.
Asylum.
But they're really doing that, and you know, one of the things they're not talking about is how I guess ISIS had said that they would infiltrate the asylum seekers, right? So they would sneak people in. And so they have to go kind of hard on it with the fact that they specifically said they were going to try to sneak in that route, and then now they're trafficking kids because these cartels who are already kidnapping people. I mean, they call it the game. I've talked to Mexicans. We're in a Mexican neighborhood. We do a lot of business with Mexicans. They'll talk about how they'll go visit Mexico because they had to bring $10,000 to get a kid back because these guys call it the game. He's like, but it's no game. And he's like, they kidnapped the kid. We had to pay to get the kid back, but what they'll do is they'll start with $10,000 and then they'll negotiate down to like where you end up paying them like $1,500 or whatever to get the kid back. They don't really want to keep the kid, but they need money. You know, they got to re-up. So they're grabbing kids, and they realize you have a better chance of getting asylum if you grab a kid. And I'm assuming the kids that are just randomly walking around out there are the ones that escape the dudes that kidnapped them. You know, because a majority of them don't have parents. Like 60% of the kids they find, there's no parents, just like some kid with his older brother or whatever they try to portray on Comedy Central for some reason is even now getting into this. So yeah, no, it's a sad deal. Everything about it's a sad deal, but they're eating now. They're in air-conditioned buildings. You know, that's better than wandering around the desert. So for it to say that it's the same as a concentration camp, which is just equating Trump to Hitler, like it always is. It's always Trump is Hitler. It's downplaying what those people had to go through in a goddamn concentration camp. Dude, he's talking about, you remember Schindler's List? That motherfucker would put his cigarette down with his mouth, and then he'd snipe him out. Like, that's what you're comparing it to? You piece of shit? You know, so.
I know.
Dude.
I don't think we're leading him into fucking human ovens to get cooked.
Oh my god, yeah, the gas chambers, yeah. Hey, one thing we know, the Bush family would sell us the Zyklon B like they did back then. Jebediah, fucking Prescott. I don't know.
Alright, well, in closing, I want to bring up,
and there's another thing.
No,
I got to finish on that.
Oh my god.
I hated George Bush Jr. I hated that dude. I hated that he got us in that war. I hated that the economy crashed really bad when they drove the gas prices through the roof. But I never even considered doing what these recreational victims have been doing. You know, hitting old ladies and they with bike locks and shit. Like, no one even considered that. I hated that dude. And I was 19, 19 about when the economy crashed, 07, 08, when we graduated from high school. And nobody even considered, because we're all just trying to make a living and trying to feed our families and try to stay afloat. But these people, when the economy is booming, they've got the time to go talk about how bad it is. Like, we went through, do you remember when Vegas had entire neighborhoods that were abandoned? They had these neighborhoods that were abandoned because of the economy crash or whatever. And that's when people should have been out boycotting or protesting or whatever, because, I mean, then Obama, the hero, right, gives all those banks all that money so that they could give people more loans after the loans defaulted.
Magic money.
But I mean, no one ever considered this amount of violence that they're giving toward Trump. So I try to, like, what would you do in their shoes type of things when they do all this violence and attacking and the Maxine Waters stuff. The lady that promised reparation, by the way, and she's covering up the fact that her daughter stole that $100,000 last month, and that's what this is all really about. I forgot to mention that earlier. Her daughter stole that $100,000. But it's just, we were never this bad. We hated Fox News because they were getting their information directly from the White House. You know, we hated the attitude of the George Bush administration, but we were never like this. You know, we were in the same boat. And then Obama came on, he spoke well and, you know, did his communist stuff. And then toward his tail end was when we just kind of ignored it because late night would have him, he'd be on late night television instead of late night television making fun of him. George was like, yeah, guys, cool. Then to the end, we found out that he was like totally boning us. I tell you, when I realized it, when I had to pay that $1,000 in at the end of the year because I didn't have insurance, I was like, what? Anyway, all right, move on to the next thing.
There is no next thing. I was gonna wind down. I was just gonna bring up the fact that I think all of these are problems that are stemming toward my fireworks today being pussified. I remember as a kid, they were all about making the bigger firecrackers. Like, you know, it wasn't the M80, it had to be the 120. Like, you always got something bigger. The cherry bombs. But now it's like they're making them smaller because kids hurt themselves more. It's like, kids don't hurt themselves, they're not going to learn anything, man. That's how I'm still alive today. It's like I found out early that I shouldn't break a bunch of firecrackers and put them in a bag and then try to make my own bomb, because that shit blows up in your face.
That's right. You know, I'm for taking the safety, the warning labels off of everything. You know, we all know that rat poison is a fucking choking hazard. You know, what do they say? Let survival the fittest or whatever. Take it. Brian knows it better than I do. But yeah, no. We used to take the whole wheels of firecrackers, take them apart, and then light that little paper one that would like the shortest fuse ever. Oh my God! We did that. We'd do like 1,000 of them.
I had a very bad habit of making my own firecrackers. I would literally break hundreds, maybe thousands of like the little M80s, and like dump all that powder into a bag just to see it blow up. I fucking blew off a giant. I'm talking like arms width, like branch, straight off a fucking tree with a bag I made explosive. It was dope. Can't do that now though, because like they don't put like near enough and it takes too much time, and you know parents are like, no, my kids are gonna hurt themselves. I don't have kids. My boy Quick does, so I can't really say for myself. But I have little brothers. You know what? I don't know. I just remember bigger bangs when I was younger. When it came to
bottle rockets, all kinds of better shit they had back then.
Yeah, shit.
Roman candles,
your friends, man. Like shit, like it was fun. Yep. Now it's like
smoke bombs were better. You could throw them inside a guy's car, watch it burn to the ground.
Put on this fucking bomb disposal suit now. Make sure you have proper eyewear, and you know, light this with a fucking 12-foot long pole, and then you know, kind of watch it flare up, not blow up. You
know, it just all goes back to keeping the kids in a bubble, man. Keep them in a safety bubble. They never learn about the real world until they get in it, and then they become fucking suicidal. It's all rolled into one big piece of shit. We're all taking a bite. And that's it. That's the end music, man. Boo-doo-bop. Bop. See, I can't do it. I can't.
That's the end for Boomstick. See you guys next week.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.